And welcome to the Committee of Adjustment meeting for December 19th, 2024. And my name is Brian, and I'll be chairing the meeting today. Any pecuniary interest by anyone today? Take that as a no. Okay, our first order of business today is an application for minor variance, 17 Prince of Wales Drive, Belleville, and the owner is 17 POW Inc. And staff?
Thank you, Chair. The subject lands are located on the east side of Prince of Wales Drive, north of College Street East and south of Donald Street, municipally known as 17 Prince of Wales Drive. This minor variance application requests relief to reduce the required lot area per dwelling unit, interior side yard width, setbacks for refuse and recycling receptacles, and a soft landscaping buffer along the south property line to facilitate an 8-unit apartment building. The property is currently developed with a 1-unit detached dwelling. The subject property is zoned residential type 2 R2 zone, which permits low-rise apartments. The proposed development meets the required parking, bicycle parking, and overall landscaping requirements. A 1.8 meter high fence is proposed along the south property line. The subject land is surrounded on 3 sides by a medium density condominium townhouse development. And the city has received correspondence from several members of the public expressing some concerns specifically regarding traffic, parking, and stormwater management, among some other concerns as well. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, are you with POW Inc.?
Yes, I'm a designer,
Yes.
engineer. My name is Andrew Glonia. Good afternoon.
Any additional questions, comments?
Yeah, if needed, like I can say some answers and some concerns. Like we already discussed some items with neighbors about stormwater management that is going to be carried on site plan approval. Like if needed presentation, I will be glad to present it.
So the house that is, the building that's existing at the moment will be torn down? Correct?
Yes.
And they're building an 8-plex?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of this gentleman? We may have some more for you in a minute.
Yeah,
Is there
sure.
anyone else in the audience who wishes to comment on 17 Prince of Wales Drive? Do you want to come up to the podium if you have any comments?
Well, I guess I should, do I need to come up here?
Yep, sure.
I guess the only concern that, I'm Beverly Dupper, I'm president of the Condo Association, and the big concern we have is severe water. And we'd like to know how that would impact on us. And I've just discussed this with them. There'll be some water management from the architect.
Maybe this gentleman or Tom can answer that.
Perhaps I'll let the architect dive into it a bit further, but yes, this eventual development would be subject to site plan approval, which a stormwater management plan would be part of that application process.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else wishes to comment on 17 Prince of Wales Drive? Any questions from any of the board members? Nope. Okay, if not, motion? Scott, seconded by Joe. All in favor? Thank you. Done. Okay, our next application is an application for consent, 21 Millennium Parkway, and it's Kelco Belleville Inc. and staff.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. 285 Maitland Drive is located on the...
Oh, we're at 20.
Oh, sorry.
We're at 21 Millennium. Sorry.
Sorry. Great. 21 Millennium Parkway is located on the north side of Millennium Parkway, east of Sydney Street North and south of Cloverleaf Drive. Consent application PLMVC 20240348 requests to sever approximately 10,219.36 square meters of land with 46.4 meters of lot frontage on Millennium Parkway for future commercial development. The severed lot doesn't require a minor variance. The retained lot would have a lot area of approximately 6,051.6 square meters and a lot frontage of 17 meters. A motor vehicle repair garage is proposed on the retained lot. A minor variance is needed to facilitate the creation of the retained lot. Details of this minor variance will be introduced later for the next application. The consent application was circulated to the Ministry of Transportation on November the 22nd, 2024. The ministry provided their comment to the city on December the 18th, 2024, stating that they have no concerns with this application. This comment has been circulated to the applicant for information. The official plan designation of the subject property is commercial land use. At this time, staff have received no correspondence from the public regarding this application. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone here from Calco Belleville Inc. to comment?
Hello, committee. My name is Laura LaBelle Pantazopoulos from the Biglieri Group, and I am a planner here representing Calco Belleville Inc. We also have Andy over there in the audience. Give us a wave for any other questions. But with regards to this severance application, we've reviewed the report and the conditions and are in support and are available here for any questions.
The minor variance that we're going to deal with just in a few minutes. You're aware of that, okay?
Yes.
Anybody have any questions for this lady? Anybody else in the audience wishes to comment on 21 Millennium Parkway? Sir, do you want to come forward?
Good afternoon. I'm the owner of 31 Millennium Parkway. I'm here neither to speak for or against. I know that they've delineated when the circulation went around, it did not indicate that we own 20 feet of the property. Well, we own it, but again, they've shown it in the map and everything. My only concern is, and it's not with this particular owner, they don't do it, it's the other car lots that are there usually park all their transport trucks on the road to unload their vehicles. Toyota is the only one who brings their vehicles in, so that was my only concern. And if this is just a service area, they wouldn't be bringing large trucks in. So really, I have no concerns. But anyways, just want to make sure all the information was out there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
A question, what is the proposed use of this property once it's subdivided, do you know?
So the proposed use is a motor vehicle repair garage for the retained lot. The severed lot has no proposed use at the moment, but it is zoned C3 for a variety of commercial uses similar to every other lot along Belleville in that.
So there wouldn't be any more
area.
transports unloading cars for this?
No, not expected. We have a loading bay in the preliminary design, if you can see it. I'm not sure what's on the screen right now, but it's planned to be on site.
Okay. And nobody else on 21 Millennium Parkway? Any further comments? Motion? Joe? Robert? All in favor? Thank you. Now we're going to move on to the minor variance for the same property, 20 Millennium Drive, and Calco again, and staff.
Okay. Minor variance application PLMVC 20240-340 is to fulfill a condition of consent for consent application PLMVC 20240-348, specifically for the creation of the retained lot. It requests relief to reduce the minimum lot frontage permitted for a lot in regional commercial zone from 30 meters to 17 meters, which would facilitate the development of a motor vehicle repair garage. This minor variance application was circulated to the Ministry of Transportation on November 22nd, 2024. The ministry provided their comment to the city on December the 18th, 2024, stating that they have no concerns with this application. This comment has been circulated to the applicant for information. At this time, staff have received no correspondence from the public regarding this application. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. So anybody in the audience wishes to comment further on that minor variance? If not, you have any other questions, concerns, comments?
Just that we support the recommendations.
Okay, all right. And if not, then a motion. Robert, seconded by Joe. All in favor? Minor variance is done. Okay, our next is an application for consent, 285 Maitland Drive, and there are several owners there. The agent is Keith Watson and staff.
Okay, 285 Maitland Drive is located on the north side of Maitland Drive, on the east side of Highway 62 and west of Redwood Drive. There are 3 consent applications associated with this property. Consent application PLCST 202400320 requests to sever approximately 6,171 square meters of land that's on the north side of 291 Maitland Drive and on the west side of John Street Road allowance. Consent application PLCST 202400321 requests to sever approximately 2,089 square meters of land on the north side of 291 Maitland Drive and on the east side of John Street Road allowance. Both of these consent applications propose to amalgamate the severed lands with 291 Maitland Drive. The severed lands are zoned Development Control Zone, and 291 Maitland Drive is zoned Service Industrial Zone. Therefore, rezoning the severed lands to align with the zoning of 291 Maitland Drive is a condition of consent. Consent application PLCST 202400322 requests to extend an existing easement for a right-of-way that connects Maitland Drive by approximately 28.3 meters, so that the western severed land would continue having access to Maitland Drive through the right-of-way. The subject property is in the circulation area and building and land use permit control area of the Ministry of Transportation. The ministry provided comments to the city on December the 18th, 2024, stating that the access to Highway 62 shall be closed or removed from the retained lot. The staff report has been updated accordingly to include the comment as a new condition of consent and has been circulated to the Committee of Adjustment and the applicant. A memorandum has been prepared regarding the removal of a condition of consent on the septic and the use of a building on the retained lot. It has been circulated to the Committee of Adjustment and the applicant. Staff have noted that an aerial map was mistakenly included in the public notice for the applications. The map that was intended for use was a location map showing the existing zoning of the subject and the neighboring lots. This map is shown on the PowerPoint slide in the screen. The official plan designations of the subject property are employment land use, residential land use, commercial land use, and environmental protection. The 3 consent applications only have regard to a portion of the land in the employment land use designation. At this time, staff have received no correspondence from the public regarding this application. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Just a question, up on the map, what happened to our picture there? It's the gray section in the middle that's being severed off and going to be attached to the property to that side? Did I understand that correctly?
You mean which
That gray stripe that's off.
So the gray stripe in the south is actually an existing drive.
Oh, that's the driveway, okay.
The right-of-way. It will not be severed to 291 Maitland
Okay.
Drive.
All right. Okay. Anyone from Keith Watson? Comments? No? Anybody else wish to comment on 285 Maitland Drive?
Good evening. I live on the adjacent road that backs onto this property. It would be Redwood Drive. So it's more about questions versus, and so I don't know if I have the ability to ask those questions.
Sure.
But I'll proceed.
Ask away.
I'll
Ask
proceed
away.
and you can tell me yes or no. So I'm looking for what is the reason really for doing this? What is the proposed ongoing use of the property that the easeway is being added to or adjoined to?
Maybe staff can answer that.
So there is an exit, so maybe the map can be shown. So basically, the existing easement for the right-of-way extends to the projection of the north boundary of 291 Maitland Drive. There is a larger severed land that is gonna be added to 291, which is to the northwest of 291 Maitland Drive. And after the land is added to 291 Maitland Drive, then there is a roundabout connecting the existing right-of-way to the severed lot. And if the easement is not extended, then the new severed portion would not have access to Maitland Drive. So that's why the easement is proposed to be extended northward.
And what is the purpose of severing and joining the two properties together?
So there is a roofing industry at 291 Maitland Drive, and they would like to have more storage space, and there are some indoor and outdoor storage space on the severed lot, on the severed lands, and they would like to acquire those lands to expand their storage capacity.
Okay, so is the intended purpose of this extension being added to put in a development residential housing?
So there is no development being proposed for the retained lot. So no development is being proposed for these three applications, and it's more about adjustment of property boundaries and extension of an existing right-of-way easement.
Okay, so it's not step one to get to the next step that says, now we're gonna look at using this whole piece of property for residential area.
Through the chair. No, this application is strictly a land addition from the one property to the other to expand their existing business that's on Maitland Drive. Just gauging from your questions, the lands that back onto Redwood Drive, there is a portion that is designated in our official plan for residential land. At this time, it's not zoned for residential land. It's still in the development control. There's no plans at this time to develop that land.
Okay, because I understood that part of that land was zoned land at risk. Is that still the case, or has that changed?
Sorry, it's zoned.
Land at risk or environmentally protected, is that?
Land at risk, we don't necessarily have a zone that covers that. There is an environmental protection zone. There is a portion of it. If you look on the map there, that green portion, that would be the lands that are currently zoned environmental protection. The rest of it right now is development control, which means really no development can happen there. So before any development happens there, they would have to go through a rezoning process just as one of the steps, which you would be notified by mail through that if you're within 120 meters. So you would definitely have notification of that coming, but at this time there's no plans for that.
Okay. I think if that's the case, I probably can table my other questions until such time that I find out that something perhaps is going to happen in there.
Just, my understanding is that it's just a lot addition. There's no new development plan for that, correct?
That is correct.
So that may answer
Okay,
your
perfect.
questions, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anyone else wishes to comment on Maitland? Take that as a no. Motion? Scott, second by Robert. All in favor? Done. Okay, our next item of business is an application for a minor variance at 366 Farnham Road, Belleville, and the owner is GCL Developments Limited. And staff?
Thank you, Chair. So the subject lands are located on the west side of Farnham Road, north of Laurel Street and south of Redwood Drive, municipally known as 366 Farnham Road. This application is requesting zoning relief to the minimum required lot area and lot frontage provisions for a 4-unit dwelling. This subject property is currently part of a larger parcel that had received provisional approval for consent from this committee previously to be subdivided into separate parcels. However, the conditions haven't been met, so that hasn't been finalized yet. This application is only pertaining to that severed lot that came from that previous application. So currently there's a detached garage located on that where the 4-unit dwelling is proposed. The subject property is currently zoned residential type 2, R2-2, which permits a range of uses, including 4-unit dwellings, again, subject to meeting the zone requirements for that, and that's what they're asking for relief for today. A front yard landscape buffer is proposed to help shield some of the parking area that's shown on there. And to date, no members of the public have provided correspondence to the city regarding this application. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks to Thomas to lay out the background here. The only other thing I would like to say, and I think it is in some of the documentation, the city is currently looking at intensification and maybe changing, maybe, in the new year, some of the regulations that would make this property as a 4-unit closer to the zone that the provisions we have than the current R2. And reducing the lot area and lot frontage. So at this hour, it's one variance, but potentially in the new year, when the city finally, maybe in February or March, considers an intensification study and changing some of the R2 zone, the lot frontage and lot area may be reduced closer to what we have. But notwithstanding that, long discussions with staff and input, and they're recommending it, so we have no more to say than that, except to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions for the gentleman? Anybody in the audience wishes to comment on 366 Farnham Road? If not, I have a question.
I do, through you, Mr. Chair. Is that, I think it's gonna be, is that a shared driveway there? That's gonna happen?
No,
No?
there'll be a separate driveway. The curb cuts are already there because they repaved and recurbed to the city.
Yeah.
But there'll be the house to the south, the old bungalow, and a new driveway that was shown on the site plan a minute ago.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other further questions? If not,